Welcome to Manga Experts. We are back with another top 10 recommendation list. If you like our videos, please leave a like and subscribe for regular updates of our videos. Without any further ado, let's get started. Number 10. I Just Want to Game in Peace. A dimensional storm befell Earth, and dimensional realms appeared everywhere. Immortals, gods, demons, angels, elves, and many other creatures from other dimensions came to Earth. Humans can also become stronger by either cultivating or hunting monsters inside dungeons. However, our main character can explore all of these dungeons without risking his life using his phone, which uses just a drop of his blood. This manhwa has a little bit of a unique story. The main character has a cheat Android phone and he can level up in real life if he levels up in the game inside the phone. This concept is executed very well in this manhwa. The art is also well refined and fight scenes are well transitioned. The main character has a decent personality. The world building is done pretty well. The chapters can be a little bit short, which is a bummer, and there are some characters who are courting death as well. Number 9. I Became the Chief of a Primitive Village. Su Bai is a novelist who's physically weak because he rarely leaves his apartment. One day, he goes hiking on a mountain and falls from a cliff. Then he is transmigrated to another world. He's awakened as a member of a primitive tribe. Using the daily assistance system and modern society's knowledge, he led the primitive tribe out of poverty and transformed it into an advanced civilization. The main character will build his own advanced territory in this world filled with racial hatred. This is a system manhwa with a lot of good kingdom-building elements. The overall concept of this manhwa is unique. All male characters are written well, but the female characters are generic trash and over-sexualized as usual. The main character uses his brain to lead his tribe, so that's a plus, but he's also a bit of a simp. World building is also on point with many different clans struggling for power. The art is above average. The only major flaw for now is the translation, but it's still readable. Number 8. The Reborn Super Doctor. Due to a mistake in the operation of a soul hooker on internship, Dr. Xing Aofei was killed in a car accident, but was blessed with the opportunity to be reborn and return to his youth, to strive for improvement and rewrite his failed life. But unexpectedly, Xing Aofei is destined to be a doctor after his rebirth. This is a light comedic reincarnation type manhwa with a system. Characters in this manhwa are pretty decent. Main character also has a good personality. System can be a bit annoying at first, but it becomes good later on. The art is also decent. Only read this if you want a very light, go with the flow type story. Number 7. Journey to the Evil Land. Usually, people become a hero after they travel through time. That didn't happen to the main character. He was abducted by a system, and now he's a punk monk in a world of Journey to the Evil Land. And that isn't the worst part. The system is basically retarded. His disciples are rebellious, and he's got a bunch of deities trying to hunt him down. But that's okay. After all, he's the mightiest monk, Tang Xuanzang. The plot of this manhwa is pretty interesting, taking one of the most popular Chinese stories, The Journey to the West, and giving it a twist. This is basically Journey to the West, but with Saitama on maximum crack. In the original story, the gods were good, but in this manhwa, the gods are actually evil, and it's full of top-tier comedy. Only read this on the official web novel website or on Potato. You are gonna have a pretty bad experience if you read it somewhere else. Number 6. Losing money to be a tycoon. Pei Quan gets reincarnated 10 years back in a parallel timeline. He also got a system. This system provides him a fixed funding, and if the main character spends those funds in a project and that project becomes a hit, he will receive only 1/100th of the total profit. But if that project fails, he will get all the funds from the system. So now the main character gets ready to make a crappy game that will surely fail. This manhwa is really unique in some ways. It has none of the cliché characters or settings we usually see in every other Chinese manhwa. Characters are written well, and conversations between some characters feel way more immersive. The art is decent enough for a drama. There's no actual action in it because it's a business-type manhwa with a system. This one is highly recommended for people looking for something new and unique. Number 5. King of the Mound. Through a combination of numerous injuries, a weak frame, and financial difficulties, the protagonist Lee Jin-young gave up on his path to being a baseball athlete and lived as a factory employee instead. One day, the spirit of Kim Jin-ho, the baseball hero who was hailed as a legend in Korea, as well as Lee Jin-young's idol who passed away 10 years ago, appeared before him. At the same time, an unknown notice appeared, stating that the baseball manager would start, and Lee Jin-young gained an ability that gave him the constitution of a pitcher, similar to a game avatar. He returns to the field to become a pro player. This manhwa is quite good for sports genre fans. It has a system in it, which is also a plus. The art of this manhwa is also good, and all characters are written well. The only major downside with this manhwa is that there are too many time skips and they happen randomly without any explanation, which can put some readers off. Other than that, it's an awesome sports manhwa with a lot of good drama. Number 4. Perfect Surgeon. When main character was a child, his father was said to have died from a car accident, but what actually caused his death was medical negligence. Ever since that, his dream was to become a perfect doctor that would never deny or mistreat a patient. However, reality was harsh. His mother was inflicted with an incurable disease, which required a lot of money. He quit his university hospital internship and became a sellout dermatologist. While he had stopped in his tracks due to harshness of reality, a state-of-the-art artificial intelligence, AI, Ronnie, came to him, and thus his journey to become a perfect doctor started once again. This manhwa is a gem for medical genre lovers. The art is quite good, the story is also amazing, and the plot moves at a nice pace, so the story never becomes boring. The main character is a hard-working guy and he uses a minimum help from system as he can. All characters are written very well. Overall, it's a good medical drama with a system. Number 3. Riding on the Edge of Annihilation. Yu Xiaobei is a temporary worker. He does anything which can get him some cash. One day, he entered a mysterious arena in order to pay for his sister's surgery expenses, only to learn that the reward for surviving till the end was ownership of the top financial group in the world, which was the leader of the global economy. Unexpectedly, he was not the only player. In the face of deceit and terrifying monsters, Yu Xiaobei participates in round after round of thrilling death games. To his secret delight, an unexpected gift shows the protagonist that his goal is not out of reach. The main character has a rational mindset and he's quite a badass. He also has a system which gives him an advantage in those brutal games. There are a few side characters and some of them are courting death sometimes. The world building of this manhwa is amazing and it feels a bit similar to God Game, an absolute God game. Art is good enough and fight scenes are portrayed very well. This is a must-try for anyone looking for a well-polished survival manhwa. Number 2. Surviving as a Fish. On the verge of death from the betrayal of his trusted colleague, Lee Yu-shin sees a ray of light moments before dying. It asks Yu-shin if he wants to start a new life again. When he came to his senses, there was a vast reservoir in front of him and his body had turned into a fish. Now he needs to overcome all the hardships so he can return to his family. This webtoon has a really cool concept and the execution of the plot is decent, but pacing of this webtoon can get a bit slow sometimes. The main character has a decent amount of knowledge about fishes, so he has an advantage, or so it seems, but in reality, he has to struggle a lot to survive the harsh waters where many predators lurk. Art is also cool and fit for this type of webtoon. World building is looking quite good for now. Overall, it's a decent thriller with fantasy elements. Number 1. The Coming Doomsday. The whole world is covered with poisonous gas and evil creatures called snake demons rule this world. Only 40 of the remaining human survivors live in an underground base. One day, the main character awakens a system and he gets isekai to this world. The main character has a very unique cultivation system. He receives points for just being lazy. He can use these points to increase his cultivation level. This is a top-tier cultivation banger with a system. Its world building is almost perfect and unique in some way. It also has some really well-polished comedic moments. The main character has a likable personality, and side characters are written so well that every single one of them feels like they are a part of this world. The art is also good, and it becomes better during fight scenes. Pacing of the story is also perfect, with some really good twists and turns. It also has heavy tragedy in it, so be on alert. The only problem with this manhwa is that even on the Bilibili official site, some chapters have missing or disposition panels, which can mess up your reading experience a bit. I have reported it to the admins. Maybe it will be fixed by the time this video is uploaded.